Okay, so hello and welcome. As said in the title, making a mercenary company with a Mercenary Company Module version 1 overview. Okay, so what is this? Well, it's a PDF book kind of thing, and basically what it allows you to do is lets you run an organization uh, that can be one, but not limited to, one of the following: a mercenary company, a holy order, a covert ops unit, a special forces unit, an artifact recovery unit, and whatever else you really want. There's no limitation here, and I do mean that. This is the first expansion for Squad Combat Module version 2, okay? If you have not seen the overview video, click the card up there, it'll take you to it so you understand what we're talking about when I say that, okay? It's based on the method of keep it simple, stupid, and this is the first official version because there has been alphas and betas of this, and let's just say that I've had to do a lot of work on this. So, what is it really meant for? What type of campaigns? Long campaigns or longer campaigns, okay? This is a system designed for longer campaigns. Each of the design decisions is based upon months, okay? Not days, not weeks, months, okay? It's not designed for every single campaign. But, having said that, it can be used as a final arc for most. For example, if you said you've been assembling all these people, or you're going to get everyone together that you've known from your entire adventure and put them in, okay, you can make this a final arc for your campaign, okay? You can put all those people together, run a small organization for like the last, 8 or so sessions. And standard rules that I would recommend is 8 hours for a short rest and a week for a long rest, okay? Played a whole campaign with this system and the alpha and beta of it, and I played in a friend of mine's campaign where we did this, and we ran not this module, but we ran just that system, and it works rather well if you give your players breathing room, okay? It is meant for max HP characters, so not rolling HP for NPCs, same as Squad Combat Module 2 for various reasons. Again, go check out that video. But specifically for this one, I would definitely recommend that you have the HP, because I also recommend in the PDF of this entire rule set book, small book, long-term damage. When you suffer damage in combat, you have 8 hours or until your next rest to heal the damage fully with magic. After that time, it becomes semi-permanent. EX if your HP is 60 out of 100, and then you take a short rest and you don't heal any of it. Your new max total is 60 out of 60, and you will heal 10 HP per week back up to your original HP. But you can work around this as a GM. It's completely up to you on how you want to do this. I'm just suggesting that, okay? So it will take you 4 weeks, get 100, and every long rest gets you 10 HP. You can upgrade this at the base, and that's specifically why I recommend it, is because your base will do a lot of the healing, and because every mission that your squads will go on is a month, which we'll not talk about, okay? So, the economy, okay? What I have roughly done is basically everything I listed in the Squad Combat Module version 2, okay? That is the economic base of all of this. So gold is very expensive and can purchase a lot. 1,000 GP roughly equates to 1 RS. So RS just stands for resources. That's it. RS, so resources, can be gained through a variety of ways, but chief among these are squad missions and taxes, along with any other things you can think of as a GM, okay? Your squads need to be paid based on their skill. If you run a holy order, you can think of this as their equipment if they're not actually being paid, because you're all brothers. Each squad requires a specific amount of payment for necessities, living expenses, all of the other stuff, and it's listed right there, okay? So as you go up, this is, again, the tier system that I alluded to in the Squad Combat Module overview. So tier 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4, okay? As you go up the tiers, your squad gets better at fighting and doing missions. They cost more resources because they're better equipped and they just fight better, okay? So you can think of that however you wish. So that's the economy side of it. Squad missions, okay? Squad missions are the heart of this module. They allow squads of the organization, okay, which are 10 people per squad, to do missions that will benefit the organization as a whole, allowing the player characters to do the fun stuff, okay? So, as a GM, this lets you explain away having to do the mundane missions. So you had to, escort a caravan on a route to the middle of nowhere. Even if it's essential that the caravan gets there, it may not be like the best idea for a session of players, okay? You can explain it away as a squad mission and have one of the squads go do it, okay? And it lets the players do the fun missions, but the squads do the mundane yet needed ones, okay? And you can do whatever you want with these squad missions. You can have someone go protect a VIP, you can go escort a merchant around, you can do assassination quest, you can go hunt monsters, you can go outsource that squad for another organization for a month. There's literally anything you can think of could be a squad mission, okay? And it allows, and it's very open-ended. The riskier the mission, the more reward the organization gets out of it, okay? So in this case, there are 4 different types of missions, or tiers of missions. Tier 1, 2, 3, 4. The higher the tier, the harder the mission is. So if you have a tier 4 squad on a tier 4 mission, they got about roughly a 50% chance of pulling it off, okay? If you have a tier 3 squad doing a tier 4 mission, they got roughly a 25% chance of pulling it off, okay? And that, again, is all in the book PDF thing. You can read and see the whole chart on how that works. So, but just remember, harder missions, higher tier missions are harder, but you get more payout out of it. They're riskier, yeah, so as I said that. Even this also allows the PCs to join in the adventure of one of their squads, or one of these squads can actually come help the PCs in an adventure if they need so, okay? And the PCs can go help a squad on a tier 4 mission if it's very hard. And it lets you play around with that system to however you wish. And you can obviously modify the roles. If your players go with a squad on a tier 4 mission, you can modify that role, or you don't have to do a role at all and just play out the whole thing. That is completely up to you as a GM and left open-ended for a reason. Your squads, okay? Squads are also the heart of this module. Haha. And they also come from the Squad Comic Module version 2. Every single thing comes from that big module, which 400-page book, all right? So, you basically, what this allows you to do is if you look at that, you can go pick, a human squad, a human quad of paladins, or you can pick like a human peasant squad and then level them up to like veteran swordsmen, or you can turn them into a halberdier squad, or you can pick like an orc squad or a goblin squad, or you can make your own one if you really want to. Again, it's all listed in the SCMV2. But just follow the 1 to tier 4 system. That's really what you need to follow there for the squads. Squads can be upgraded with magical gear, but it is very expensive. For example, if you want 10 sets of plus 1 armor, it is going to cost you a significant amount of RS, because you have to buy 10 sets of plate armor for people in a squad. Your PCs might get, very good gear, but that doesn't mean everyone else gets, okay? But you can upgrade these squads to be ridiculous. Can you imagine 10 people in a squad with plus 3 armor and plus 3 weapons? It's a lot of firepower there, but it also costs an extreme amount that you can obviously look at in the little book thing. You can give squad names, okay? They can also be associated with a specific player. You can control all aspects of the squad. You can even, if you want to, you can use one of my swordsman squads from the Squad Comic Module, the human side. So like a tier 2 unit swordsman. You can make them orcs, you can make them dragonborn, and just use that stat block. And then you can have the players modify their names around, change what kind of gear they have on, what their specific type of weapons are. You can change all of it, okay? You can change their armor, weapons, loadout, everything, okay? And it makes the players feel like they have control of the squads, because they do. And it makes for great player engagement outside of the session. I have done this with my friend, again, in the beta alpha version, and even before this one, where we even did this making squads, making them breastplates so they would survive longer, all of that stuff. And it lets you customize your squad. You can give them little blue capes, and then you can have like a seal on it for your organization. You can do anything you want. It makes for great player engagement with the squad there for your players. Commanders, okay? Commanders are types of NPCs that boost the squad that they are out on missions with, okay? So this is Balian of Ibelin, and if you've all seen Kingdom of Heaven, you know who that is. Basically, they give an aura of inspiring leadership in battle, and when on a squad mission, which is one of those big abstract things that takes a month, they increase their chance of succeeding by a certain amount, depending on their tier. So tier 3 is 10%, tier 4 is 20%. It's actually a pretty big buff. They also increase the XP gain of a specific squad, okay? But they can only go with one, so they're kind of valuable. These characters probably should be named in your organization. They work more with the players in the big picture kind of thing and discuss the organization and what it should do. So you don't have to name everyone in a 10-person squad because that's too much. We had to name one of the commanders. It's a pretty good idea. And again, for RP reasons, they can come from wherever you want. They can come from a squad when it hits tier 3, tier 4. For example, you can say, this tier 3 squad, one of the dudes stand out really well and he became a commander. You could do it like that, okay? And then when they hit tier 4, he gets bumped up to a tier 4 commander. You could also go recruit a tier 4 commander or find a tier 3 commander. It's all up to you on how you want to do that, okay? They can also be recruited by players, actions, people that join, however you want to do so. It's very left open-ended for you. Other NPCs, as you can see, there is a Dandelion there, and I will call him Dandelion till the day I die. So, other NPCs, there are different types, okay? There are important NPCs. These are people that are named that will help squads on their mission, okay? Think of them as heroes in a squad. They're the best the squad has to offer, and they can also go with the players and help them on their quests if you want to do something like that. That's up to you. Basically, they give the squad a 10% better chances of succeeding at a role on a squad mission per important NPC that goes with them, okay? Then you have your diplomats, i.e. Dandelion. These are cunning individuals that work to gain favor for the player's organization by sucking up to other factions, organizations, or patrons. And they can also be used as spies in those organizations. So that's very open-ended. Basically, as listed in the book, they get favors. Favors can be used on a variety of things that are not limited to everything that's already stated in the book. You can burn an amount of favors to get, like, for example, let's say, your players, you're like, we would like to have a wyvern. Okay, it's going to cost, 7 favors. You as a GM can say that and be like, okay, so we have to work with this faction until we get 7 favors. Each diplomat per month, so gets 1 favor with the faction. So if you have more diplomats on a faction, 4 diplomats, you get 4 favors from that faction every month. That's up to you and how you want to do and spend those favors on whatever you want. And it's left very open-ended. They can also be used as spies because, fun fact, if you're a diplomat, you kind of know what's going on in wherever you're stationed. So if they, example, are going to spy on a neutral faction for you, you can go try to curry favors with that faction and then be a little spy in there. And then your players can go talk to the diplomat and find out what's going on there. Then you have, lastly, your researchers. Okay, these are intellectuals that will do research for the players and organizations. They can unlock various buffs for the players and organizations and heavily determinant on you as a GM. I currently, in the research projects, have 2. Basically, one buffs the healing rate and one buffs the success chance of squads. And more will be added as, again, the module progresses in age. Again, because it's on Patreon, we will continue to add things here and update it, and you get it all. As long as you stay as a patron, you get the new updated versions. And if you stop being a patron, well, you keep the current version you have. So those are to all say that will be expanded upon later in a much bigger way as I add more things. And again, with you guys' input, we can make a lot of stuff happen there. Lastly, you can recruit all these guys by various means. I left it very open-ended. As stated, you can get these guys through events, you can recruit, you can pay RS for them, you can find them, you would do whatever you want. You can earn them, some can join out of random necessity. However you think as a GM that the players need is up to you on how these people are recruited, okay? They can come from squads, there's a whole bunch of things you can do there. So, factions, organizations, and patrons that are not yours, okay? The player organization is not the only one in the world. Playing nice with others will gain them various benefits. These, in design terms, are called favors, as I've alluded to with the diplomat. Favors can be gained a variety of ways. GM determine it passively, gain them with an organization that they're assigned. So 1 favor per month. And you can ask other organizations for RS mounts. For RS, you can get resources from them. You can ask for mounts. You can ask for mercenary squads. And help the player organization, whatever else you see as a GM. So basically, it lets you play a little faction game. You can list actually all of the factions, and you can be like, hey, players, you have 1 diplomat. Who would you like to send the diplomat to? And they'll pick whoever they think is needed, and it works as elegantly as you think. And I had to go through a lot of revisions to think of this one because I'm not very smart. And I got it to here where I think it's in a good place, because it was not in the alpha and betas. It was very convoluted, so it's in a good place now, at least in my opinion. All right, organization revenue. So gaining RSs, so resources, as an organization can be done through a variety of ways. Here are the base examples. Okay, you can tax people in an area for RS. So for example, if your organization has a castle, like probably most will, the people in the general area can be taxed for RSs. Okay, yeah, it's listed in the book on how much you get per whatever you want to do there. Completing missions for RSs. Higher tier missions give you more rewards. You get more RS, okay? So resources. Finding a mine in the area and working it gives you RS. Getting paid by another faction or organization. So, for example, if you're like a sub-organization of a massive organization, let's just take this for example. I'm going to run this campaign eventually. The Papal State is paying you as an organization to go recover artifacts. You as the organization get paid from Big Dog. The better you do at your mission, the more RS you get from Big Dog. You could do it like that. There's 1,000 ways you could do that. And I've listed a lot of them in the book, and then it's always open-ended for you as a GM to determine how you want to do that, okay? Buildings. So, what do you spend all your RS on? Well, very simply, you can spend it on squad upgrades and buildings. And with all of these buildings, the player RS organization can spend money to upgrade, their bases and receive various benefits. You can build a full castle, as I see over there. Slowly build a full castle, and you can gain various benefits. Build support buildings, such as hospitals to heal casualties, and the players can build safe houses in different cities or towns that your players can go stage your adventures from, or can use as a get out of town. They got to get out of town, so they go to the safe house, hide there. And all can be done in the background while they're off adventuring. You as a GM can completely determine how much your players do this and you do this. I've had the best success with doing all of this stuff before the game with players that are interested in doing all of this stuff. Because again, not all the players will be interested, but there will be probably some that are interested in being like, I would like to determine how the castle is built and what we should spend our stuff on. And those players will feel the benefit, and for those people that just want to adventure, they can just go adventure on when session time comes, okay? So it's left very open-ended on how you want to do this. That is the way I'd recommend it, by the way, is find the players that are interested in this, like do either a mini session beforehand, like an hour beforehand, or do it on a different day, and then you can just do an online voice talk kind of thing. It doesn't have to be very formal and like a big D&D session kind of thing. And then leave everyone else that wants to just adventure, which is probably a lot of people, just adventure in your adventure D&D game, okay? So that's where I would leave that, okay? And that is going to conclude this video. Hopefully you guys like it enough to go check it out on Patreon. They're already in, it's already out on Patreon. First expansion for Squad Combat Module, okay? So, hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys will enjoy it. And I will see you people next time. See you people later.